So the expected thing that's happening is now happening. I mean, Clarence Thomas himself said he's looking to try to or have the court try to overturn the Supreme Court precedent that Obergefell v. Hodges is trying to set. Although, to be honest, okay, hypothetically speaking, let's say it does get overturned by the Supreme Court. Again, this is the same Supreme Court who overturned Roe v. Wade. Let's say it does get overturned. The Respect for Marriage Act will still basically have some protections there for couples who are LGBTQ. So, good job Biden in trying to sort of like and have some fucking extra protections in case the conservative Supreme Court does some stupid fuck shit. So basically, let's say Texas immediately not overthrows, but like gets rid of the precedent set by Obergefell v. Hodges, or like Missouri or some shit. Yes, interracial marriage would be next, 1000% there, Alex. But let's say it's like Texas or like Louisiana or Missouri or some shit. If you were to get married and you're like a queer couple in like California, the state still has to respect that marriage because you got married in a state where gay marriage is still fucking legal, and they just have to kind of cope and seethe about it. They can't fucking do anything about that. But I think with the current marriage licenses, because the point of it is that like they can't get the fucking marriage licenses because they want to make it as difficult as possible in order to get that stuff. So that's kind of the fucking point. So what, 10 years after the Supreme Court extended marriage rights to same-sex couples nationwide, the justices this fall will consider for the first time whether to take up a case that explicitly asks them to overturn that decision. We have the associated article with it. So Kim Davis, that's a name of old, right? So for those who may not know, there's sort of, I don't know, history, I guess. Well, I didn't know this fucking history. But Kim Davis was a clerk who basically refused to give out a marriage license to a gay couple, right? And basically, the gay couple sued her for not giving that marriage license because at this point, Obergefell v. Hodges was put in place by the fucking Supreme Court at this particular juncture, and so what she did was illegal in refusing to give that marriage license to that fucking queer couple, right? It did the whole rigmarole fuckamagee. She fucking lost that court case, was forced to have to pay out a bunch of lawyers' fees and, a bunch of other shit as well. And she has been, ever since, and this was about 10 years ago, has been trying to appeal this case in order to basically use it as a way to overthrow, same-sex marriage ruling. That's basically the sort of point. So what do we have here? What's this video saying?
Supreme Court ruled in favor of same-sex marriage across the United States. It could now be overturned. Senior Washington correspondent Devin Dwyer is on the story for us. All right, give us the deal, Devin. Who is actually asking the justices to overturn this?
Well, in recent years, Kira, we've been waiting for a case like this as some of the sentiment in the country has started to shift a little bit, softened rather, against same-sex marriage.
Right, we've seen this, broadly speaking, with it's a byproduct of like 2023, the whole sort of thing with, oh god, what's her fucking name? Bud Light trans lady. Oh, god, I'm so fucking bad with names. We just watched a video about this from Taylor Lorenz and Matt Bernstein. Dylan Mulvaney. Thank you, Alex. Yeah, Dylan Mulvaney, right? And that's like the sort of like main catalyst that led to this sort of like reactionary backlash. And I'm quoting this now. It was very Gamergate. We're calling it, I don't know, like Beergate or Transgate, right? And that's like the whole like sort of thing. I don't know why everything has to be a gate in like the sort of like colloquial sense. I don't know. I blame Nixon for that shit. Whatever. The sort of thing here is, it's all part of the fucking reactionary backlash. And I mentioned that it's not just as simple as like Dylan Mulvaney, right? Although like Dylan Mulvaney was the main push that sort of made catalyze the sort of like reactionary backlash for people generally speaking. That's honestly like really really all there is to fucking say to it. that was like the main thing. It was always something that was like broadly speaking bubbling up through all the like the conservative commentators putting out such a ridiculous amount of propaganda through like trans people saying that they're bad and stinky or whatever idiotic bullshit. And that's like the sort of like sort of main catalyst, because they're the new, I don't know, I suppose scapegoat de jour, for fucking lack of a better term. They're the main sort of like people that are being gone after. And of course, like, listen, if you really thought that trans people were the only people that they were going to go after, that is conservatives, broadly speaking, no. Listen, we've seen this play out before. Trans people are sort of the main sort of thing that are going forward in terms of the main sort of group that are trying to get their new sort of like cultural and civic rights, right? Or civil rights. They are the new pillar within the fight of the arc of civil liberties for minority peoples that, broadly speaking, exist within the United States. And I could extend this, broadly speaking, throughout the world, generally speaking. So those are like the main sort of like I don't know, like tip of the spear. I think tip of the spear is probably the correct sort of term to really be using here. But generally speaking, like the reason why there's like a huge reactionary general backlash and there's like a big backsliding is because, well, we live in a sort of cultural conservative moment of time where, I don't know, due to mostly the failings of the fucking Democratic Party, because they themselves are also fucking conservative and could care less about like trans people, didn't really do anything to sort of take that cultural momentum and help solidify it into something that's more tangible, because in reality, Joe Biden is a fucking fossil who could give less of a flying fuck about any of that stuff. So again, it's been sort of allowed to make it backslide as much as it has. And the same thing with fucking immigration, right? Like, I'm really saying, like, the consequences of the Joe Biden presidency will sort of, like, I don't know, ring out for a lot of generations to fucking come. The consequences of it is just going to be fucking disastrous. But, you know, at least he helped with the Respect for Marriage Act. Good job, Joe Biden, you know. It's okay, I suppose. You did what you could, I suppose. Which wasn't much at all. Whatever.
Been a lot of talk about whether the justices will get a chance to reconsider the case. And as you said there, they are getting that opportunity next month. We've learned that Kim Davis, she's that Kentucky clerk from back in 2015 that was at the center of international controversy when she refused to issue marriage licenses to a gay couple in Kentucky in defiance of the Supreme Court. She spent 6 days in jail. She lost a defamation suit. She had to pay $100,000 in damages.
It was a defamation suit. That's what it was. Well, Jellybean, I disagree with that. Voting is a tool in the arsenal of the sort of political, general sort of things that you can do. It's not the be-all, end-all. If you live in a swing state, you should vote for the fucking Democrats. If you care about trying to halt the backsliding, sort of like try to like pull it back to the left part of the Overton window. Well, the Democrats are not necessarily going to do that, but they will help stop the backsliding, and that's unfortunately about as good as you're going to get. But voting is a small tool in the fucking chest. It is a thing that you can fucking do. Like, yeah, if you live in a swing state, you should vote. If you're in a Democratic state, if you don't vote, don't vote. You should still vote anyways, because it's just good for general sort of civic engagement, and it tells the Democratic Party that you are, broadly speaking, interested in participating in the civic process. I would even advocate for going out to vote as well within Republican states, because it tells the party that there is an interest there and it is worth investing into those people. Because if you don't, whoa, crazy, they're not going to do anything and it's going to get worse. Yeah, I'm aware that both parties are part of the fucking establishment. It doesn't matter. Like, the thing is that those are unfortunately the only two fucking choices that you have for the time being. The Green Party is irrelevant. The only thing that they do is to just try to siphon away Democratic votes and just help the Republicans. Like, that's not ridiculous or hyperbolic. And the Libertarians, well, they don't really amount to much of anything, and they are being subsumed by the fucking Republican Party through the fucking Mises Caucus, right? Like, it is a tool in the chest. It is a tool that you can use. more important things is to, broadly speaking, engage more in class consciousness, helping teach people about the material conditions that they are currently experiencing in the moment that we are fucking in. So, no, people should not, like, faith in the system has already been lost. That has already been fucking lost. And real change is not going to fucking happen. If faith is lost within the fucking system, the only people who are currently in position to take advantage are fascists, not the left. They are not in position to take advantage of. So, again, like, that's stupid.
$260,000 in legal fees. That's what she's appealing to the Supreme Court, but it's the first time, Kira, that anyone has technically asked the justices explicitly to overturn Obergefell v. Hodges, which was that landmark ruling. And she does just that. Her counsel in this petition, which was filed last...
Dude, God, she is one fucking ugly-ass motherfucker, dude. Listen, it's all about fucking control and hierarchy and subjugation for these fucking people. They just want fucking gay people and queer people to, broadly speaking, just, whoa, crazy, to fucking suffer. That's the entirety of the point of all this stuff. Like, she's just a stupid dumbass who was just like, yeah, I hate the fact that gay people are allowed to have rights. Yeah, the same rights that I can have. Yeah. Like, I don't know, get bent. Arc of progress should leave stupid bitches like yourself fucking behind. Like, nice fucking meme, you fucking dumbass.
Last week says that decision was egregiously wrong. And if that sounds familiar, that's the same type of argument that was made by opponents of abortion when they sought to overturn Roe versus Wade just a few years ago. So
that's a pretty good fucking point here by this individual. I don't remember his name. I'm really bad with fucking names. That's a really, really good point, right? Like, a lot of the exact same, like, I wouldn't be surprised. Is it like Heritage Foundation that's helping Kim Davis try to do any of this bullshit, right? Like, is the same exact motherfuckers? I wouldn't be surprised if it was the exact same motherfuckers. They seem to always have their grubby little hands on, like, shit like this every single time. So, again, it wouldn't surprise me if they were the main ones that were fucking going ahead with any of this bullshit. Like, I mean, listen, Kim Davis, just stay mad, get bent about the fact that people are getting, whoa, crazy, more fucking rights.
A lot of eyes on this petition. It's unclear whether the court will take it up, but certainly a lot on the line.
That's true.
Well, is there any indication?
I mean, I don't disagree with this. Maybe the court won't take it up, but again, you don't really fucking know. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, like, we live in an unprecedented time where just any random bullshit can fucking happen. Like, who the fuck knows? They might take it.
And that justices will consider hearing arguments?
A lot of the legal experts I've talked to say there's no chance the Supreme Court will want to wade into this. But, the climate that we're in right now, anything can happen. Certainly we are in...
at least it's good that he's fucking saying that. Yeah, any random bullshit can happen at this point. Who the fuck knows what the fuck's going to happen?
In the midst of a campaign against same-sex marriages across the country, at least 9 states so far have either passed legislation seeking to end those rights or specifically asked the Supreme Court, send resolutions to the Supreme Court asking them to revisit. You saw the...
Is it wild to me that a lot of basically a lot of people are basically just going to that a lot of state legislators are passing legislation in order to have it like go up to the fucking Supreme Court. I mean, this is like it's the same shit that happened with like abortion rights. I think it's also the same thing that happened with a lot of like trans rights or stuff like that. It's really, really fucking stupid.
The Southern Baptist Convention, the nation's largest Protestant Christian group, just last month, they voted to make overturning Obergefell a top priority. So there's a renewed effort by activists in this space to try to get the attention of the Supreme Court. And a lot of them, Kira, are pointing to comments by Justice Clarence Thomas, the senior conservative, who after the Dobbs decision, the one that overturned abortion rights in this country, he said in his opinion that he thinks it's time to take a look again at marriage rights. So anything can happen.
Dude, after marriage rights, it's gonna be interracial marriage rights. I find it really fucking funny that, I don't know, Clarence Thomas is also trying to, like, I don't know, destroy his own fucking interracial marriage or some shit. Like, he's totally, like, okay with that. Very, very fucking stupid.
It's on the table, but most legal experts think that the chances are less likely than not, Kira.
Got it. Devin Dwyer, thank you.
What's the current approval rating of same-sex marriage? Same-sex marriage, USA approval. What's the current approval rating of this? I'm curious. LGBTQ rights. It's a Gallup poll. Do you think marriages between same-sex couples should be or should not be recognized by the law as valid with the same rights as traditional marriage? Should be valid is at 68%. Small dip, right? Even with all the fucking sort of conservative backlash that's going on specifically right around 2023, because again, this is when the whole fucking Bud Light Dylan Mulvaney stuff. It has moved a little bit, but it really has not moved all that much, like, to be quite honest. Like, it just moved like a tiny little bit in terms of them being valid or not. So, like, a slight change of, like, 3 percentage points. I guess, like, some Republicans decided to get more racist or some shit, right? Do you think same-sex marriages between same-sex couples should or should not be recognized by the law as valid with the same rights as traditional? Trend in which gay marriage not proceed by questions of gay/lesbian rights and relations. So this was during the early aughts, right? When that happened. We do a lot of issues regardless of that. Please tell me whether you believe it's generally morally acceptable to have gay and lesbian relations. 64%, 71%. Okay, cool, lovely. Well, broadly speaking, a lot of people, like, it's still, like, morally acceptable. People don't really have much of a problem with fucking LGBTQ rights, right? It really has not fucking changed much. So that's cool, I suppose. But still, broadly speaking, popular, but again, like, there's just this one fucking loser, Kim Davis, who's just, I don't know, mad about the fact. I think she's just mad. I'll be quite honest. I think she's just mad. 10 years after the Supreme Court extended marriage rights to same-sex couples nationwide, the justices this fall will consider for the first time whether to take up a case that explicitly asks to overturn that decision. Again, like, 70% about, like, 68% approval rating. Like, all conventional wisdom points to this not fucking happening, but then again, we are not living in a conventional fucking time, so, like, who the fuck knows what the fuck's gonna happen? It could be just, like, complete fucking just, a shit show fest, like, complete utter nonsense can fucking happen. Kim Davis, a former Kentucky county clerk, who was jailed for 6 days in 2015 after refusing to issue marriage licenses to a gay couple on religious grounds. Okay, cool. Is appealing a $100,000 jury verdict for emotional damages plus $216,000 for attorney's fees. Who wants to really make a bet that it, like, part of it is because of the fact that she's still mad about gay people getting rights, but more so about the fact that she doesn't want to fucking pay all this money? Because I'm assuming that if she's a fucking clerk who's issuing marriage licenses, she probably doesn't really make a lot of money. Let's be fucking honest here. I feel like that's part of the reason, but more so because she's like a fucking, a bigot against all this stuff. In a petition for writ of certiorari filed last month, Davis argues First Amendment protection for exercise of religion immunizes her from personal liability for the denial of marriage licenses. Yeah, so this is basically, this is just a challenge to Obergefell v. Hodges. Like, this isn't a fucking First Amendment issue, right? Like, this is about you doing your fucking job. Those people got legally married. It is up to you to give them the fucking license. It's not about your fucking religious rights. Again, like, the conservatives use this all the time as a fucking shield in order to go after particular rights of fucking people. It's so fucking stupid. More fundamentally, she claims the hard court's decision in Obergefell v. Hodges extending marriage rights for same-sex couples under the 14th Amendment due to process protections was egregiously wrong. Oh, you just think it's forehead wrong or some shit? Damn, maybe she wants a return to slavery as well. Like, probably. Wouldn't surprise me. This mistake must be corrected, wrote attorney Davis's attorney, Matt Staver, in the petition. He called Justice Anthony Kennedy's majority opinion in Obergefell legal fiction. In what way? Like, how? What is the majority opinion? How is it, like, legal fiction? Yes summary. Michigan, Ohio, and Tennessee define marriage as a union between one man and one woman. Plaintiffs challenge the law as violating 14th Amendment. Oh boy. Fantastic. District courts ruled in their favor. Sixth Court consolidated the cases in reverse. Supreme Court reversed. The 14th Amendment requires a state to license a marriage between two people of the same sex to recognize a marriage between two people of the same sex. Their marriage was rightfully licensed and performed out of state. Well, cope and fucking see, stupid Republican fucking states or other fucking Republican dipshits. Whoa, they got their marriage outside of that fucking state. Cope and see. You gotta fucking respect it. Kind of a deal. The petition appears to mark the first time since 2015 that the court has been formally asked to overturn the landmark marriage decision. Davis is seen as one of the only Americans currently with legal standing to bring a challenge to the precedent. Great, cool. Dude, fucking look at this stupid dumbass motherfucker. Like, it's all about like, you know, I just want to overturn the rights for gay people because I hate myself and I just hate life. So I just want people to suffer like I have. Like, again, it's the same shit with every fucking, like, stupid conservative backlash. The point is that they just want people to fucking suffer for expressing who they are. Like, that's the entirety of the point of all this stuff. If there was ever a case of exceptional importance, Staver wrote, the first individual in the Republic's history who was jailed for following her religious convictions regarding the historic definition of marriage, this should be it. That's not a historic definition of marriage. Here's the funny thing about definitions. They change throughout time, right? Like, this used to be the definition of marriage. Guess what? It got fucking changed. And people are just upset about the fact that it got fucking changed. Cope, fucking seethe, malt. Like, guess what? People ruled and said, like, yeah, well, why don't we fucking change it? Fuck it. Whatever. Who cares? Like, I guess it's fine. No one really gives much of a shit about this. Again, still fucking, like, a 70% approval rating for fucking gay marriage. So, I don't know. Like, is this gonna go somewhere? Who the fuck knows? Conventional wisdom says it should not. But we don't live in a conventional time. Lower courts have dismissed Davis's claims, and most legal experts consider her bid a long shot. A federal appeals court panel concluded earlier this year that the former clerk cannot raise the First Amendment as a defense because she is being held liable for state action, which the First Amendment does not protect. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, right? Because, again, it is the state's duty to recognize that marriage because Obergefell v. Hodges said it is now federal fucking law and all states follow the federal fucking law. So, again, no fucking First Amendment protections in terms of that one. So, get owned, idiot. Davis, as the Rowan County clerk in 2015, was a sole authority tasked with issuing marriage licenses on behalf of the government under state law. Not a single judge on the U.S. Court of Appeals showed any interest in Davis's rehearsing petition, and we are confident that the Supreme Court will likewise agree that Davis's arguments do not merit further attention, said William Powell, attorney for David Ermhold and David Moore, and the now married Kentucky couple that sued Davis for damages in a statement to ABC News. Davis's appeal to the Supreme Court comes as conservative opponents of marriage rights for same-sex couples pursue a renewed campaign to reverse legal precedent and allow each state to set its own policy. Again, I mean, the Respect for Marriage Act will have certain protections. Like, for example, if it's the same thing with Roe v. Wade and abortion rights, right? If you go to get a fucking abortion in a state that has abortion rights protected, not much the fucking conservative states can really do about that. So if you go get your queer marriage in, say, California, for example, not really much that they can do to revoke that fucking particular license. It's annoying and unfortunate that this has to be the case, but again, conservatives just want people to suffer and they fucking hate you. So that's why they want to fucking do everything possible to just make the lives of people as difficult as possible. That's pretty much the point of it, right? So far in 2025, at least 9 states have either introduced legislation aimed at blocking new marriage licenses for LGBTQ people or passed resolutions urging the Supreme Court to reverse Obergefell at the earliest opportunity, according to the advocacy group Lambda Legal. In June, the Southern Baptist Convention, the largest Protestant national denomination, wanted to overthrow that stuff. Yep, we've seen that already, of course. So support is softening. According to Gallup, 60% of Americans supported same-sex marriage, rising to 70% in 2025. But that level has plateaued. How is it softening, right? Like, it's plateaued, right? About 30% of the fucking country are just, like, complete out of touch fucking weirdos, right? I don't really understand how it's plateauing, right? Like, are we kind of expecting like every single Republican to want to go along with like same-sex marriage rights or some shit? But like, that's not gonna fucking happen, because again, there's always gonna be like complete losers and fucking weirdos, right? Among Republicans, support has notably dipped over the past decade, down from 55% in 2021 to 41% this year. Well, again, like I said before, you can thank the whole stupid Transgate stuff, fucking Dylan Mulvaney fucking bullshit. Also, I find it really funny that you have like the log cabin Republicans, the fucking gays for Trump kind of a people, the gay Republicans. Like, I wonder what they fucking think about all this stuff, you know? Their marriage rights being overturned by the exact same party who has never given a fuck about them. Very, very cool. Davis's petition argues the issue of marriage should be treated the same way the court handled the issue of abortion in its 2022 decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Yeah, which was fraught with so many fucking problems and contradictions. But again, the court is partisan, so they overthrowed it based off of partisan fucking reasonings. Stupid. She zeroes in on Justice Clarence Thomas' concurrence in that case, in which he explicitly called for revisiting Obergefell. I wonder why. Again, I like this stupid loser, Kim Davis, this fucking stupid failure of phrenological fucking studies, you know, this absolute specimen of a fucking human being, is basically just mad and fucking salty about the fact that gay people are able to express themselves and have rights, because, you know, she's a dumb fuck conservative who hates people having rights. Very, very common amongst conservatives. The justices should reconsider all the court's substantive due process precedents, including Griswold, Lawrence, and Obergefell. If I'm recalling correctly, Obergefell, that's gay marriage. Lawrence, I think, and Griswold. This is about segregation. Is that right? Am I correct on that one, Boy Meets Minnie or Alex? Griswold, right? Griswold v. Connecticut. Constitutional right to privacy for married couples regarding the use of contraception. Oh, no, they're trying to go after fucking condoms and shit like that, right? So this is about contraceptives. Because, again, like, conservatives are fucking weirdo psychopaths. What's the Lawrence case? Yeah, they've taught. This has happened before, right? They want to go after fucking like condoms and like abortion pills and all this fun. There's already like laws in the books that are going after mifepristone and shit like that, right? Lawrence v. Texas declared the state laws prohibiting the same sexual activity as unconstitutional. Oh, so these are sodomy laws, right? They want to bring back sodomy laws as well. Okay. Thomas wrote at the time. Yes, he wants to. Yeah, so Clarence Thomas wants sodomy laws to come back, and he wants contraceptives to be banned. Listen, Romania banned contraceptives during, I think it was the 60s, right? You want to know what happened after the banning of contraceptives? First off, people still got fucking abortions anyways. They just did it through a fucking back alley instead, right? Like, that's what literally fucking happened. So... And guess what happened as a result of contraceptives getting banned within Romania, and abortion also getting banned in Romania, because Ceausescu is an idiot and he wanted to try to have another fucking baby boom. It worked for a little while, and then the fucking birth rate still fucking cratered because no one was able to afford to have those fucking children. You want to know what happened? There was an orphan crisis in Romania that I think only recently started to get resolved, right? Like, last time I was in Romania, this was about like 2010, there were orphans walking around on the fucking street. Yup. This, you fucking ban contraceptives and abortion. Guess what? You're gonna have a bunch of orphans fucking walking around in the street. Very, very cool. That, I know, conservatives want an orphan crisis now within America. Very cool. Referring to the landmark decisions dealing with a fundamental right to privacy, due process, and equal protection rights. Hard to say where things will go, but this will be a long slog considering how popular same-sex marriage is now, said Josh Blackman, a prominent conservative constitutional scholar. Very, very cool. Blackman predicts many members of the Supreme Court's conservative majority would want prospective challenges to Obergefell to percolate in lower courts before revisiting the debate. I don't think, like, this... if it goes through the fucking lower courts, it's not gonna fucking go anywhere. So that's pretty cool. Fantastic. The court is expected to formally consider Davis's petition this fall during a private conference with the justices, when the justices discuss which cases to add to their docket. If the case is accepted, it would likely be scheduled for oral argumentation next spring, decided by the end of June 2026. Oh boy, fantastic. Court could also decline the case, allowing a lower court ruling to stand and avoid entirely the request to revisit Obergefell. Well, we'll see if that happens. Brett Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett seem wildly uninterested, and maybe Justice Neil Gorsuch too. I mean, if it's very funny how it's the three justices fucking that Trump appointed said like, whatever, I don't care about this. Said Sarah Isker. But again, you can never know what fucking happens with these people. They're all just rank partisan freaks, so they could just have their fucking minds changed or some shit. Who the fuck knows? And ABC legal analyst and the host of the legal podcast Advisory Opinions. There's no world in which the court takes the case as a straight guy marriage case. Isker added, it would have to come up as the lower court holding that Obergefell binds judges to accept some kind of non-traditional marriage arrangement. Yes, this ruling would not invalidate existing marriages. So yeah, if you have your current marriage license and Obergefell v. Hodges does get overturned, they're still in place. Like, conservatives can't do shit about that one. Ruling would be overturned. It would not invalidate those marriages already performed. The Respect for Marriage Act requires the federal government, I've been saying this before, requires the federal government in all states to recognize legal marriages of the same sex and interracial couples performed in any state, even if there's a further change in the law. So again, like I said before, couples would have to go out of state to get their fucking marriages and their marriage licenses, and the Republican states would not be able to fucking do anything about that. Although they'll fucking try. Davis first appealed to the Supreme Court in 2019, seeking to have the damages suit against her tossed out. Well, cope and seethe. Conservatives, Thomas and Samuel Alito concurred with the decision at the time. Well, who would have thought the two complete schizo far-right losers on the court were agreeing with it? Crazy. Petition implicates important questions about the scope and the decision of Obergefell, but it does not cleanly present them. Wrote in a statement. Cool. Many LGBTQ activists say they're apprehensive of the shifting legal and political landscape around marriage rights. Estimated that many people that are married, yada yada yada. Since the Obergefell decision, the makeup of the Supreme Court has shifted rightward, including 3 appointees of President Trump and a 6-justice conservative supermajority. Chief Justice John Roberts, along with the current members of the court who dissented in Obergefell a decade ago, sharply criticized the ruling at the time as an act of will, not legal judgment, with no basis in the Constitution. Oh, I'm sure, John Roberts. He also warned then that it creates serious questions about religious liberty. Oh, I'm sure you care so much about that. Davis invoked Roberts' words in her petition to the High Court, hopeful that at least 4 of the justices will vote to accept her case and hear arguments next year. Yeah, sure. Wait, it doesn't even have to be a majority of them? That's really, really cool. Well, yeah, that's fantastic. That's great to see that this shit is starting to fucking happen yet again. Fantastic, excellent. We love the fact that, I don't know, this complete, utter fucking nonsense is being revisited as fucking expected. Listen, it's not always about fucking trans rights. They're the fucking first to go, and they've been effectively, I don't know if effectively destroyed is correct, but whatever. Let's just go with they've been significantly fucking curtailed, and as expected, queer rights are next, and eventually it's going to be racial minorities that are fucking next, because again, with conservatives, it's never enough. They just want people who are minorities to fucking suffer. That is the entirety of the point of all this stuff. It's completely idiotic, it's stupid, it's wretched, it's terrible. And as expected from the complete, utter, like, far-right losers on the fucking Supreme Court, they want to do everything possible to make the lives of racial minorities fucking 10 times worse. Whoa, crazy. Who would have thought? Don't think there's really much else to say besides that.